Hi, it's Joanna here, and I'm creating content for you about emotional alignment life coaching. So, I've been creating content to build another new channel, which is a personal development and life coaching channel. And the first thing that I'm creating content about is emotional alignment life coaching. You see, after I was interviewed by Dave Mack, I received a request for a life coaching session from Virginia. And she had great success in her first session. She came with a 5-month weight loss stall as a problem. And she reported to me 5 weeks after the session, where we were finally able to catch up again. She reported that the weight loss stall had broken and she'd lost 6 pounds in the 5 weeks. The great thing about emotional alignment life coaching is that it's not about consciously training you to behave in a different way. It's quite the opposite. We dive deeply into your history to find out at what point in time and what happened to train your subconscious to give you instructions to do something or not do something that worked as a safety mechanism back then, but it's not working anymore. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's holding you back. And so I'm bringing this 9-part series to my carnivore channel because carnivores have problems that carnivore can't solve. And emotional alignment might be your best bet. And I'm looking for volunteers currently to be filmed, as well as normal clients who don't want to be filmed and would rather pay for their session. Either way. And I'm also building a life coaching and personal development channel called School of Self. So please don't consider that your problems are not big enough to warrant emotional alignment life coaching. They're not too big, they're not too small, they're not too anything. If they're problems, they're problems, and they're there to be solved. You have a zero tolerance policy for anxiety, and you have a few hurdles that you can't just can't figure out how to jump over. You keep slamming into them. Send me an email. Ask me a question. Find out what this is all about. Come and spend some time. Let me film you, and it won't cost you a thing. I really am determined to help as many people as possible, and carnivores are great people, and I'm a carnivore and I'm great people. So I'm sharing this series here because my first brave emotional alignment life coaching client who agreed to be filmed is carnivore.
I'm so grateful to you, Joanna. What you do is so valuable. It's life-changing.
Sweeteners, maybe coffee. Yeah, coffee. I'm going to try to get help getting off coffee. I can't wait for a reply.
Welcome back to the final episode in the 9-part series on emotional alignment life coaching using Virginia's emotional alignment life coaching session. This episode is all about bringing everything full circle to conclude the session in a way that the client can feel within themselves that the problem that they brought to the session has now been resolved. And we have gone around in this process, and now we see that the problem no longer exists. So listen along. Yeah. So, okay. So now, if children are adopted, it is impossible to have a true connection. Yes or no? What do you think?
The sound cut out on the last thing that you said. So can you say that again?
Oh, if children are adopted, it is impossible to have a
Uh-huh.
true connection with them. What do you think?
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
No, it's not true.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Because
true.
and and you don't even have to explain why that's not true, because I can hear it in your body. So your sound comes through your body and I can feel your body. It's just like, no, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
Right. It wouldn't.
If your son
No.
had his biological mother, he would probably be more of a mess and maybe not have survived this long. There's a reason why he wasn't with his mother. Some human beings are not equipped. They're just not. They haven't been taught.
Right.
They have their own trauma. Their situation is too
Yeah.
dire. They can't physically bring up a baby. They may not have the
Right.
resources.
Right. I'm sure she didn't.
And it's not about it's not about how much you love a child. Everyone can
No, it's
love
not.
children. We all just love
Yeah.
babies. They're beautiful. And
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
took two of them on, and they're your responsibility till the end of time, till the end of your
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe beyond, you know. You're you're their guardian angel in this life. That's what mothers are.
Yeah.
And the fact that your son is not biologically connected to you just means that his genetics are different. And
Yeah.
he may have some things that come along with his genetics and his epigenetics that you haven't had come along for you. So it's up to you to try to understand him more and him to understand himself more. But it doesn't you may have an even truer connection because you don't take it for granted. How
Yeah.
does one know?
Right.
All you know is if 100% of your heart is there with your children, you're doing the same as what a
Yeah.
biological parent is required to do.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that was you held that for a really long time in your life. That's two
I
uh,
did.
enormous things. What else have you got on the list? Anything
I
more that's gonna come up? That's huge. Sorry, my
I
absolutely
don't
huge.
I don't know. I know. I'm so shocked by it. I just thought when I talked to you before and you helped reveal the other feelings that I had
Yeah.
that I had held on to so long, I am just so surprised that
Mm.
you're able to find that and
Yeah.
or
Seriously.
help bring that to the front.
Mm, mm. It
And
just
the
makes it just
equation, the
makes
algebra
complete sense.
equation really is helpful.
Yeah. It just makes
It
complete
does make
sense to
complete
me.
sense.
I don't know why I think the way that I do, but it just makes complete sense to me.
I wonder how do you know how and will I eventually be able to know like when something is like that emotionally happening,
Mm.
I, I, how do I tease that out myself? How do I is
Well,
it just a
if
process like
you
you said of
yeah. If children are adopted, it is impossible to have a true connection. True or false? When I asked Virginia this question, her energy was very balanced, very, very stable. She was no longer having tears. It wasn't conflicting with her emotions any longer. She proved to me through the way that she spoke, her answers, and the energy that came through her body, she is now on that issue emotionally aligned. Something that was troubling her because her mother had an opinion that was different to her opinion. And now it doesn't bother her at all. Her mother can have whatever opinion her mother likes to have. And when it is an opinion that has something to do with Virginia's life, she's no longer vulnerable to feeling emotionally like she must be forced to have her mother's opinion. So this is the example that you can now understand where I was talking to Virginia about the belonging and the individual autonomy. Sometimes there are some issues that we come into conflict with our families, our communities, the people who we want to belong to. And the question is, do we have to think exactly the same thing as the group that we belong to? Or can we have individual autonomy in certain areas, on certain issues? I believe that we can have autonomy. I believe that there's a lot of give and take. It depends on the context, and sometimes you may have to choose to not belong if it's a condition of belonging, if it's a deal breaking condition. But as long as you're aware of the situation, then you can make decisions based on what is factual rather than what is emotional. We need to have emotions in our life. They guide us, they help us understand. But when the emotions come from a misalignment, they lead us down the wrong path. They cause us to have behaviors and habits and um, withhold ourselves from certain things, um, that really we deserve to be able to do those things or have those things or reach those goals. And that's what I want for you, to use emotional alignment in that way so that you're not being held back, you're not being put in a vulnerable position, you're not having to make those deal breaking choices throughout your lifetime, and things are much more smooth for you. I really hope you've enjoyed this 9-part series, um, looking behind the curtain, watching how I coach, watching how a client gets led along the process. I've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and I really hope that this entire 9-part series has encouraged even just a few of you to step forward and to offer yourselves as a tool to help other people understand what's possible. And guess what? You get to experience emotional alignment life coaching yourself, and you don't have to pay for it. You're paying for it with your participation. I really hope that you come along on the journey. I really need people to be brave and to be humble and be just bring forth your courage to the community of the world and show people what is possible. And I will give you a chance to explain your experience as well, as I have also interviewed Virginia, and we will be bringing more of that to you as well. So follow along. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. A like is good too, doesn't cost you a thing, and you'll hear from us about what's coming next.
I'm so grateful to you, Joanna. What you do is so valuable. It's life-changing.
Sweeteners, maybe coffee. Yeah, coffee. I'm going to try to get help getting off coffee. I can't wait for a reply.